Welcome. Poirot raced to London, holding Big Mughead's referral, and met her new boss. Before exiting the car, she tossed 2 shiny coins to the cabbie, who looked like he just won the lottery. Poirot barged into the ex-boss home, asking about that maid's identity. But this woman was as clueless as a goldfish, and seemed really ticked off at the maid. Now, usually, when a boss isn't happy, it's either because the maid's slack or because she's just too stunning for her own good. And clearly, Mr. Rogers' maid fit the latter. Poirot then ambled into a restaurant. He asked the faux detective if he had managed to snag a list from the sanatorium. The fake detective handed it over, asking Poirot what he was planning to do with it. Poirot teased him with suspense. At this year's dinner, Mr. Rogers' lawyer was also present. He managed Mrs. Furlow's assets and recalled she handled a large sum before passing away. We're talking £20,000 stuffed away into a mysterious account. The lawyer suspected Mrs. Furlow might have been blackmailed, and Poirot put on his thinking: the death of Mrs. Furlow, the butler's car crash, the disappearing act, the maid's identity. These seemingly unrelated clues have to be tangled up with Mr. Rogers' untimely demise. He and the fake detective quickly boarded the nearest train to Rogers' Manor, found Little Roy alone, and asked about Rogers' dying words. What did he do? Anything odd? Little Roy the parakeet said nothing until he finally confessed. Subtitles: I didn't go to Mr. Rogers' study that night. Poirot asked why Little Roy lied. He said, crestfallen, after Dad died. Mom and I moved in with Uncle, and let me tell you, life wasn't as fancy as it looked from the outside. Living under someone else's roof is a joy only the occupants can understand. To keep up appearances, his mom and he had to juggle loans for daily. They were borrowing cash for clothes and bling, and it all spiraled into a mountain of debt. That Friday night, the truth is, he swiped some cash from Uncle's bed. As he was sneaking downstairs, he bumped into the butler delivering wine, and he played it cool, pretending he was off to study. Hey, Buck, Mr. Ackroyd said he didn't want to be ditched. Oh, splendid, Mr. Roger. I did good, eh? $40, just your average petty thief. Now you know. Next day, the fake detective muttered a news headline on his way to Rogers' estate, at caught smuggling in Liverpool. The police had previously named him the Roger case suspect. Poirot laughed. That's fake. I asked the paper to print it. The fake detective asked Poirot why he published such news. Poirot, plain coy, shrugged, and soon the car arrived at Rogers' estate. They arrived at the maid's door, and from inside came gut-wrenching sobs. The maid had seen the headline and refused to believe Act could commit murder, even if it was the last thing she did. Poirot urged the maid to calm down because only the truth could save Act. She admitted, I've actually fallen from grace. I'm just a poor girl from a room. After Dad died, he left debts and 5 daughters. She worked at Mr. Rogers via her sister's referral. Poirot quickly added, the lady you met yesterday morning, she's actually your sister. The maid replied, yeah, that's my sister married into a fine family, and here she met Act. Before long, they were all lovey-dovey. Poirot fished out a ring from his pocket. He handed it back to the maid, who thanked him. But guess what? They secretly tied the knot back in March. When Mr. Roger found out, he was furious. He wanted Little Roy to marry Act. The maid got so mad she tossed the wedding ring away. Poirot asked the maid where she was that night. She said, I was supposed to meet Act at the lounge at 9:30, and then Mr. Roger got murdered. Poirot asked how long they were together that night. The maid recalled, about 15 minutes. I left weighing around 93 grams. Poirot nodded, believing her story, but that didn't clear her of suspicion. Out of nowhere, Big Mughead appeared. Hey, there's a call for Poirot. The great detective dashed over, picked up the receiver, and soon he was off to a local sanatorium, ready to untangle this mystery. Dear viewers, there's only one culprit. Shout out your guesses in the comments. Poirot at the meeting at Rogers' factory. Once everyone settled in, the detective took the maid by the hand and pulled her forward to announce loudly, this young lady married Mr. Act back in March. The room fell silent in shock. Poirot added, her daughter is with her. The crowd went dead quiet except for Mrs. Vera, who scoffed quietly. Fairy tale, half Mrs. Vera. The maid blushed, about to speak when Little Roy offered congratulations. His words felt more like teasing. If Act were alive, she would practically be the wealthiest lady in town. Poirot politely urged everyone to take a seat. She tactfully pointed out that everyone present were suspects, each with the time and motive to have done Mr. Roger in. First, Mr. Backhead, seeking more factory profits for the lady and Little Roy, all for cash though the butler's dead. Tie until Mr. Roger was still alive at 9:30 p.m. Both the butler and Mr. Backhead had heard him chatting in his study. You keep asking for money, and I can't meet your demands." "Who do you think Mr. Rogers said that to?" Mr. Backhead kept speculating. "Think that was an enemy's phone call?" Poirot didn't answer, shifting gears to the absent act, pondering if he had become the third casualty of this case. Or maybe someone assisted him in escaping the cops, he pondered. If that's the case, where could Ack be now? Definitely not a hotel, too crowded there. The only thing that makes sense for now is subtitle, a private sanatorium. And here comes the problem. The great detective Poirot leaned over and asked me who could possibly help Ack get into there. I had to spill the beans. Ack approached me earlier, revealing the mess he was in, buried under a mountain of gambling debt. He was already secretly married to the maid, and that shouldn't be an issue. He had a wealthy guardian keeping it under wraps, wasn't it? But here's the catch. His guardian wanted him to marry his supposed cousin. I was Mr. Rogers' personal physician, watched Ack grow up right before